Alright, final video of the series. Support towers. Leave ideas down in the comments for more tier lists. Alright, Supermines. You get this thing in chimps, then it's an instant win. However, it is extremely expensive, so I highly doubt that anyone would ever get this thing in a chimps game. Boss events, it's not horrible, but I don't see why you would get it in a boss event, because for about half the cost, you could get an MAD, which would do way more damage. So yeah, I'd say B tier. It's still incredibly powerful, but its cost is the main thing holding it back. Very similar to the Sun God, except the Sun God is way better. Carpet of Spikes. Very similar to the Supermites. It's too expensive to be normally used for its power. It's not incredibly horrible, per se. Like, it still finds some usage. Like, I wouldn't put it past people to use this thing in a chimps game, because it can be powerful. However, its price tag is a bit too hefty for its power. I've said that like 3 times now. Alright, B tier for Carpet. Permaspike. This man, if this was before his nerf, he would be an S tier, no questions asked. However, he has long since fallen from his glory. Well, by long since, I mean last update, where they massacred Permaspike. It took them 36 updates, but they finally managed it. They brought down Permaspike. So yeah, now he's not very useful at all, I gotta say. So, B tier works for Permaspike. Alright, now we have the Banana Farms. Banana Central, incredibly useful for boss event farming, so A tier. Chimps, however, it is completely useless, so you can't even get it in chimps. So yeah, A tier. Monkeyopolis is a lot worse for farming in boss events, well, unless it has 60% ability cooldowns like the last Lich, and is also completely useless in chimps, so C tier. Monkey Wall Street suffers from the exact same thing Monkeyopolis does. Alright, next up we have Primary Expertise. This thing is decently cheap and can be used in chimps for buffing powerful primary towers. For example, it's at the center of bomb shooter strats, and when it buffs an Inferno Ring, the Inferno Ring becomes an unstoppable demon. However, it itself isn't incredibly powerful, so I'd say B tier. Alright, Homeland. This is in a very similar situation to Permabrew. The only time anyone ever gets this is to buff towers, because that's the only thing it does. And it is a very powerful buff. However, like, it's very used in boss events, and being cheaper than Permabrew, it's also more, well, cheaper than Permabrew? I'd say it's about the same cost as Permabrew. It's also used in chimps, so I'll put it in the same tier as Permabrew. Monkeyopolis, incredibly useful for farming in boss events, but completely useless in chimps, so I'll put it with Banana Central. However, they have massacred, well, not massacred, they did nerf Monkeyopolis a fair bit. Anyways, final 6. Sentry Champion. Decent in chimps, not horrible in boss events, and it's got a decent design, so I'd say B tier. Ultra Boost, an incredible buff, which, similar to Permabrew and Homeland, you only really find use in boss events, because no one's going to be getting this thing in chimps unless they're doing a niche strategy. So, yeah. Alright, XXL Trap, not very useful in boss events or chimps, I gotta say. It completely massacres your income in chimps, and while it can one-shot ZOMGs, in boss events it isn't very helpful either. Now we get to the newest tower in the game, the Beast Handler. Alright, Megalodon. If this was when it was super powerful for like 2 days, it'd be an S tier. But now, with the amount you need to get this thing up, like it's $200,000. For about half that, you can get an MAD, which would do about the same, if not more. So, yeah, it's completely useless against bosses. It's completely useless in chimps because you can't even afford it. Like, it's just not good. Giganotosaurus, on the other hand, is a lot better. Not incredible in boss events or in chimps because of its massive price tag, but it is still usable in both. I personally have beaten logs with over 2TC with Prince of Darkness and Giganotosaurus. And it was a pretty fun game. Also, Giganotosaurus is my favorite tier 5, so I definitely have personal bias towards this thing. Anyways, Poakai. This thing is pretty powerful, I gotta say. It's decently cheap for a beast handler, and it's pretty useful in chimps. Boss events, not so much, but it's still decently powerful. And that, my friends, is the BTD 6 tier list complete. No one managed to make it to S, which is interesting. Honestly, I thought MAD or maybe like Homeland would make it to S, but nope, no one made it to S. And only absolute zeros in D tier. Alright. I guess I'll catch you guys next week. Well, next Thursday. For the next